So the highlight of the year training for me was connection with the community. There is something really powerful about being able to share space over time with others, particularly when you have a shared purpose and you are engaging in something as potentially transformative as learning NVC. Watching the community itself flourish and go through the sort of like the arc of getting to know each other, when you have the initial sort of like wariness and trepidation, and as the sort of boundaries break down and people start to relax, and that's of course necessarily speeded up by the like thick emotional content of what people are working through when they're in an NVC space, and the kinds of like openness and honesty, the self-revealing that NVC encourages. So, I mean, there are many, many highlights, but my number one definitely would be that sense of community, that sense of togetherness and solidarity, ultimately making friends and getting to know people more intimately. Okay, so there are many, many things I took away. Obviously, in like my previous response, connection was one of them. Being able to connect with different people and get to know them more deeply. Um, One of the things that now Asha, my partner, who was also on the year training with me, and I use quite regularly are the empathy walks. So if we are having a conflict or we're unable to hear each other, the practice of putting a hand on uh, the other's hand and sort of silently listening, or silently listening and then expressing as much in giraffe as possible, has been super useful for us. You know, something about the physicality of it. It was quite transformative in relation to a couple of particular sort of knots that we had between us, which needed unpicking. And that sort of really sedimented the learning for both of us, and means that we have quite a sort of a happy association with this particular technique. So, yeah, that's the one that's high up in the mind, and that we use from time to time when we need to. Um, and other than that, as I say, connection and just the ongoing sort of deepening of an MVC consciousness. It's not just about the practices; it's also about the way of seeing the world, um, and that integrating step by step into all of the various different parts of life. You know, in terms of our relationship, but I certainly bring it to my work and some of the political engagements. So just an increasing integration, basically. I think both of us signed up for the year course knowing that it would be likely to provide a structure that provided integration or supported integration, and that's very much been the case. Yeah. So one of the other things, there are many things, there are a huge number of things that I would say recommend it. But one of the things that is most striking to me is the energy, which is a quite abstract term, I recognize, but is nevertheless intelligible for most people. The energy that Shantigarbha and Gazina, you two, bring to holding the space. There's a lot of play. I love play and I learn well with play. The same is true with Asha, who I went with. And that sort of playful, light energy, um, both of us found it to be super supportive. It also means that there's fun. You're doing stuff that is quite challenging at times, and is very much about growing in different ways. But because of the playful energy and the lightness, there is fun within the growth. And for me, that's super significant.